Welcome, everybody, to Beat Your Addictions with John Giordano. I'm your co-host, Scott Jones. I want to thank you for joining us and to remind you, please, to like this program, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. And don't forget to leave comments, too, because we want to know what you think or if there's questions that we're not answering here for you on this podcast. And, John, you do this. I mean, this isn't about John wants to be famous. This is about you've got a lot of information. You want to make sure people learn and find out things, right?
There's a lot of information out there that most people don't even realize is out there. And, like I said earlier, my son almost died from this disease. So did I, and so did my wife. And I'm out there to share information to improve recovery outcomes because there's only a 5 to 8, maybe a 10% recovery rate.
That's why, John, we've been, I've been around recovery for almost 40 years, came in and out a few times, but been around a long time. You've been around a long time. Why are we still at that 10% range? Shouldn't we be at 50, 60% by now?
Unfortunately, the insurance companies don't care about addicts and alcoholics and mental health people. And it's all about money. So the insurance company's job is not to pay treatment centers, and the treatment center's job is to get paid. And unfortunately, what happens is the insurance companies keep paying for things that don't work very well. Now, they work for some people. I'm not saying they don't. I'm one of those people.
Right.
Okay. There's a third rule. A third of the patients will get better regardless of what they do and where they are. But the other 2/3 won't. And, when you really look at it, okay, it's really sad. They don't pay for a lot of things because they say it's a medical model, Scott, but it's not. It's a psychological model. Right. Because they only talk about trauma, which is important, and, different behavioral problems and low self-esteem and all this stuff is, okay, that's great. We talk about all that. That's good. But there are other driving forces. And I say this in almost every podcast. We have a body. It's attached to the head. And what we look at is low thyroid cause depression and anxiety. I always tell people, don't believe me, just look it up. All right, low testosterone. We found out that 85% of our patients had low test and suffered from depression and anxiety. So you have to take that into consideration. And then you got leaky gut syndrome. That means your gut is perforated and those toxins go into your bloodstream, can cause depression and anxiety and a toxic effect. Then you got H. pylori infection. And then you got hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, especially for alcoholics because, alcohol is sugar.
Yeah, it turns itself into
all of this stuff causes depression and anxiety. Closed-head injuries. How many addicts have fallen and hit their head or played football and got their head hit and had concussions, and all of this stuff causes behavioral problems. Just look at the football players, by the way. Yeah. Can cause addiction and suicidal ideation. So then you got heavy metal toxicity, which, Flint, Michigan, look what happened with them. What was they had lead in the water and people were, it was really interesting. I was in Italy and we went to Herculean. That's where the volcano, blew up and covered Herculean, and all the people died, and they found all these this information about most people only live to about 35 years old, and they had mental illness. Yeah, and the reason why, which is really interesting, is the Romans were known for plumbing, among other things, and what they used for pipes was lead. So they had lead poisoning and not even realize it.
John, we can even take that back to colonial days here in the United States with the pewter. Everybody drank out of pewter cups. Right. They ate on pewter plates, which pewter, the main ingredient in creating pewter, is lead. So they were getting, and people didn't live that long. I mean, I'm not sure what the real life expectancy is anymore. I'm not sure where it's gone, but it's gone higher. We're living longer.
No, it's supposedly in the 70s,
Yeah.
I think maybe 78.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm 78. I don't know.
Nice job. Just called yourself out.
What do you mean? That's it.
Time to go.
See you later, alligator.
This will be our last show. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, if you take care of yourself, there's very few things. It's not like you need to be like a super guru to take care of yourself.
No.
But a lot of these things are almost like common sense things, but people just don't apply them, for taking better care of your body. Let's talk about that for a few minutes, because you mentioned a few things with the gut and everything else.
Yeah, but how do you fix it?
Regular people even are having these issues. Let's forget about with
forget
addictions.
About addicts and
everybody's because people are eating bad food. They're not taking care of themselves. They're not exercising. So what is a plan to just become a better well person?
Okay, first of all, you have to look at what you're eating. Okay, food is energy. Okay, plants get their energy from the sun. It goes into the plant, and then when you eat it, it goes into us.
Yeah,
we're made of energy. We're made of frequencies. We're made of energy. This is what we're really made of, and this avatar here is flesh and blood, but it's driven by energy. So there's such a thing as NAD. Now, NAD is a coenzyme that is utilized because it's the fuel for your mitochondria. Now, your mitochondria is the engine for every cell in your body. Okay, so if you don't have the proper fuel, okay, the body's not going to run very well. It's just like the kind of food a lot of people eat, like, processed food, a lot of sugars and all this stuff. It's like putting diesel fuel in your gasoline engine. Now, we all know what that's going to do. Okay, but it's fuel, but it's the wrong kind.
Right.
So, even for those people who don't have money, you can definitely go and have salads, wash your lettuce, wash everything, because you got all kinds of chemicals maybe on it. All right. If you can't buy organic, at least wash them and do as best you can. Okay. There's beans that you can eat. There's lentils and nuts and stuff like that to get your protein. Protein is extremely important because protein helps with neurotransmission in your brain. Your gut, you need to go get probiotics, prebiotics. There's a company that makes really good ones called Your Biotics, YOUR Biotics. Look it up. It's live cell. Some of these other companies are baloney. They don't have live cells and they're just dead. So
how would you know which companies to buy from? Is there any way
that's why I said Your Biotics.
Okay,
is
Your
the one.
Biotics.
When you're buying nutrients, do your best to see if it's a GMP lab. It's just one step above of what you can do. Maybe not the greatest, but at least it's a third party looking at the manufacturing.
GMP is good manufacturing practices, and it's the labs who create the vitamins, minerals, or the nutrients, whatever they're putting together. They actually voluntarily become part of this, where they have people come in and make sure they're doing the job.
What they say is in the product is in the product.
Because there's a lot of those vitamins out there. You're buying your vitamins at Walgreens, and it's like, I got magnesium. I got 10,000 pills for $4. Well, guess what? It's probably worth that,
right?
Because there's no guarantee what's in there.
I'm glad you brought up magnesium. Magnesium is very important. It works with over 300 processes in the human body. Now, if you take in magnesium glycinate and magnesium taurate, there's 10 different kinds of magnesium. Those two magnesiums help with depression and anxiety, believe it or not. Okay? So, there's a lot of things out there. Your B vitamins, extremely important to take. Also, there's a product called Protovite. Now, Protovite is a product with nanotechnology that it's a liquid that you put in your mouth, you squish it around, and you swallow it in about 30 seconds. And you take it on an empty stomach. So it bypasses your gut. Now, when it bypasses your gut, it goes right into your bloodstream in 189 seconds. There's a paper on it, a white paper on it to show that. There's things out there that people don't realize. Exercise, very important. If you have a heart condition, they tell you to exercise. Okay?
Yeah.
Any condition. And the best training is what I call HIIT training, high intensity training. And I mean, I work out. I'm fortunate enough to have a trainer, and we work out for a half hour, Scott. I feel like I'm dying. I can't wait for the half hour. Now, I used to work out in the gym for an hour and a half and then get the same results as I get for HIIT training.
Yeah.
So, and go look it up, guys. I don't want anybody to believe anything I'm telling them. Go look all this stuff up. Make your own decisions, your own choices, because I know people don't believe anybody anyway.
John, let me back you up for just a second. I don't want people to get the wrong idea. You started talking about food and salads. You're not telling people they got to eat salad every day and not ever enjoy a piece of steak, or even if you're at a birthday party, have one piece of cake. You're not saying that to people.
No.
Let's explain what you're looking for is balance in what you're doing with your food. It's got to be a balance, but you can enjoy yourself too.
Do your best to stay away from processed food and sugars. I mean, I don't do it perfect either, but I'm 78. I'm probably in better shape than guys that are 38. So, you got to take care of your body. And if you don't take care of your body's not going to take care of you. And it's that simple. And if you want to go into a spiritual ideology, look at God, whatever that is to anybody out there, gave us the gift of this body. Okay. Yeah. It's what you do with that gift of this body is your gift back to the creator. So how well have you taken care of the gift?
So when you walk into a pizza shop and you see this really fit person,
and I love pizza, by the way. So I don't say I don't love it.
You're Italian, you have to. But you see a really fit person or a couple of fit people sitting around having a slice of pizza, and then you're like, well, why can't I do that? It's because you're not following. They're not eating that every day. They're not having it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're once in a while they'll get a slice of pizza or a piece of pizza, and they enjoy it. And then they're probably eating healthy and exercising the rest of the time.
I just came back from Europe.
Yeah.
And we ate pizza there. We had spaghetti.
Oh, my God. You had the original food.
It's all different. It's not like ours. Okay. The wheat's different. Everything's different. You don't put any weight on. It's like crazy. And you don't feel lethargic after you eat. Food is supposed to give you energy.
Yeah. You know what? What a thought. You should be energized after eating, not wanting to fall asleep in your mashed potatoes. So that's an indication that what you're eating is probably not a good thing, right?
Nope.
Jeez. And that's it. That's what everybody always says. I get sleepy at Thanksgiving because there's tryptophan in the turkey. That's not why you got sleepy. You got sleepy because you ate 5 pounds of mashed potatoes and stuffing and gravy.
Fried foods. All of this stuff is not good. I'm not going to say I don't eat that occasionally. I do.
But it's on occasion.
But you don't make it your daily diet.
So if you base your food on fresh, organic, good vegetables, and a lot less sugars, then you should be. That's a simple thing. Just kind of go with that and then adjust it accordingly. The other thing you mentioned was exercise. You're not looking for people to hit the gym every day for 6 hours a day, because I think that's what people get in their heads, and that's why they don't get started, John.
No.
But you know what I mean? That's what people think. They're like, I don't have time to work out.
Some people,
you got a half hour.
I don't make time. I don't make time, people say. Well, you make time for other stuff. Why not take care of your body? Because let me tell you something. As you get older, this body starts to fall apart. Unfortunately, even if you're doing all the right things, okay? So if you don't take care of yourself, now, excellent people say, well, I don't have money for the gym. Okay. You can actually work out at home. You could do push-ups. You could do sit-ups. You could do jumping jacks.
What about going for a walk, John? You kill a couple of birds. You get sunshine, fresh air, and exercise all at once.
Absolutely. D3 is very important. Talk about sunshine. You need to take D3, get a little sun. Okay. Very important is taking D3 and K1 and 2. Okay. That goes along with the D3. So that's very important also. And water. Water is extremely important. And, I'm fortunate enough. It only costs about, I think, $69 to buy oxygenated water, where you get this device that makes oxygen in the water.
Oh, so does it actually create sparkling water?
No, it creates oxygen.
Oh, it just oxygenates the water more. Okay.
And this way it goes into every cell of your body. So you got to look at that.
I enjoy my coffee. Once in a while, I'll enjoy a Diet Coke. I used to drink it morning, noon, and night. And now once in a while, I'll have a Diet Coke, and it's a treat. The rest of the time, I'm drinking water with a squeeze of lemon, with a squeeze of lime, water. What about these freaking energy drinks? Now, let's go back to our.
I used to drink them. No good.
To our addicted communities. A lot of the young people are living on these things, John.
Well, because we seek energy. We're energy vampires.
But is it giving you energy? or is it a placebo?
What's going on? Let's look at why we don't have energy instead of if it isn't giving us energy. The reason why we don't have energy is because the body is out of homeostasis. It's not in balance. So, I'm 78. I do a workout that, believe me when I tell you, my trainer says, Jesus, most young guys can't keep up with this workout. Why? Because my adrenals are working better. My whole body's working better because of the things that I do. So, look, life is hard enough. It's rough out there. It's not easy. Okay. But when you get sick and you have all these different ailments, it makes it 10 times harder. And, as we get older, you can have a heart attack, strokes, diabetes.
Well, and you can't avoid certain ailments. I mean, you recently had to deal with cancer a while back, but because of your healthy lifestyle, it seems like you dealt with that.
Oh, I got healed real quick.
You healed very quickly, as well as from your surgery with your neck. That healed relatively quickly.
Oh, my surgeon.
How much of that had to do with the diet and and all of that?
Well, my surgeon, it's really funny. He's the top neurologist at the Mount Sinai University, Dr. Lasner, great surgeon. If anybody ever needs surgery, this is the guy to go to. And I told him about hyperbaric medicine. That's oxygen under pressure that they use for wound healing in hospitals. And red light therapy is also for inflammation, wound healing, all that stuff. So I went there, and I had 43 staples in my back. And I had 14 screws and 2 rods in my neck because of judo. I had this problem all my life, actually. And he says to me, they're taking the staples. I says, I can't believe how fast you're healing. I said, but I told you what I'm doing. Then I went back 17 days later, and the scar was almost gone. And he goes, what is this? And he's running around the office telling the nurses and stuff, I've never seen anything like this in 30 years. I said, Doc, I told you, that's what they use in hospital for wound healing. He says, I didn't realize how well it works. I said, well, now you know. There's things out there people don't know. Do your own investigation. Don't just listen to anybody. And some of the doctors today, they're good at what they do, but they're not good at certain other things. You got to take care of yourself.
So let's get the energy drinks. I just want to get back to that for a moment.
No. The energy drinks, what's happening.
And there's some of them that are saying, oh, we're a healthy energy drink. None of them really are.
No, they're going to burn you out, man. Like we have, I brought all this information to JC's Recovery Center, which I'm co-owner at. And at JC's, we teach people all about this stuff. And they're addicts, alcoholics, mental health people. Some people listen. Some people choose not to listen. We even have an executive program. Unfortunately, the insurance companies don't pay for that. That's cash. It's sad that people have money can get a better treatment than people that don't.
Yeah.
Otherwise we go out of business.
Well, John, welcome to the American way. It was, if you got money, you get to buy a car with no interest. But if you struggle with money, you got to pay the highest interest rate possible and pay double for the same car that a rich person pays for. This is what's screwed up in our country. Absolutely. It's a mess. But with treatment, this should not be an issue. Everybody should be able to get top tier treatment. They deserve it. At
JC's, what I did was I had to look at also some of the people that we could treat that really need this stuff, and what I did was we take them to cold plunge. That helps them to form discipline, focus, and get rid of inflammation.
Now, the cold plunge, a lot of you might think about these, the polar bear swims up north where when the ice comes out and they jump in the water and it's freezing cold and they get out. That's what they're thinking about cold plunge. There's actually, this is kind of different than that. You are jumping. No, they're doing it for a sport. This is being done therapeutically.
No, actually, Scott, they actually, in Norway and Sweden, they do it for healing.
Oh, they do.
That's where it came from. Yeah.
Oh, well, Wisconsin, where I used to live, they did it just because they were drunk.
Well, that was a sport.
It was a sport. But there's this has actually got proven healing.
Oh, yeah. Go look it up, guys. Cold plunge. Then we do red light therapy with them. Then we take them to holotropic breathing, which helps with their mind, body, and soul. And then we take them to yoga. We take them to the gym. We have a guy training them. Then they get organic foods, natural foods. We teach them how to cook. We do a lot of stuff. Then we do micronutrient testing to see if they have a balance in their body with nutrients. We do gut testing to see if the gut is out of whack. Now there's 90% or 80%, 80 to 90% serotonin, dopamine, those are your feel-good drugs that you manufacture naturally, is manufactured in your gut, goes up the vagus nerve and deposits it into your brain. So if your gut's out of whack, your brain's out of whack. We do all kinds of tests on them. We do heavy metal testing,
Right.
and we help them with that.
Exercise, gym, and things like that.
Yeah, they go to the gym. We do methylation tests to see if they're absorbing the nutrients. So, it's a full program. Then they do group, individual, family therapy. They get trauma work, all of that stuff, and motivational therapy.
But all that stuff that you're saying, the yoga, the testing, the hyperbaric, and the cold plunge, is that just bells and whistles, or does that play a real role in recovery?
It plays
because it never did before. This is kind of new territory.
Well, that's why we only have an 8%
exactly.
recovery rate.
Thank you. That's where I was going. But it
Uh,
plays a big role, all of these pieces.
Absolutely. This is how you stay healthy, how your body, inflammation is the killer. And there's such a thing as zombie cells. Some people go, what? Look it up.
Oh, now we're getting good. Getting good. Zombies are coming.
The technical term is senolyticals. Those are cells that die, but they don't completely die. So they give them the name zombie cells, and they clog up the work in your body and cause inflammation. So the way you get rid of that is exercise. And quincentin is a nutrient that you can take, okay, that helps get rid of the sensory cells. They got a lot of research on it. There's still more research needs to be done. Feistin, Fiestin, is another nutrient that you can take. So, look, there's stuff out there that most people don't know about this stuff, So that's why we do this podcast. We're informing you about things. Go look it up. If you can do some of it, if you can do all of it, great. But you need to do something different if you want to get well. And, your best thinking got you right where you are, wherever you are. So I tell that to clients all the time, and when they say, well, I go to these 12-step meetings and I don't get nothing out of it. So the first thing I ask them is, what did you put in? Because we're always looking to take. We're not looking to give.
Right.
So, you only get out of things what you put in. And it's the same thing with your body. It's the same thing with spirituality. We're a faith-based program, JC's, and faith-based is non-denominational, and it's a good foundation for any kind of recovery process.
Yeah.
And it's a good foundation for life. And the best high in the world is helping God's kids and helping another human being. And that's what I dedicated my life to do. And I get high off of it. Now, I'm not perfect. I'm still have challenges in my life. If you don't have challenges in your life and you don't have stuff going on, that means you're dead. Okay.
Absolutely.
So we all have that. And what you do when you learn in recovery, how to deal with those challenges and how to have support, the right kind of support. So all of that stuff matters. If you guys want to learn a little bit, you can go to my website, John, the letter J, Giordano.com. It's on the screen. And get some of my books. The Kid from the South Bronx Who Never Gave Up. That's my life story. And you can go and get How to Beat Your Addictions and Live a Quality Life. The way that book was written, which is really interesting, I interviewed about a couple of hundred addicts, alcoholics, eating disorders, gamblers, sex addicts. And I wanted to know how they, what they did for their recovery. They had a lifestyle of recovery, not just quitting these substances or behaviors, but they actually was living a life of recovery. And I wanted to know what they did and what they didn't do. And then I interviewed about 100, 150 chronic relapses, people that kept relapsing. I wanted to know what they did and what they didn't do. And I put that into the book, and then I put my own stuff in there. And some of the research, I'm in 80 medical and scientific peer-reviewed journals. I work with clinicians and geneticists and neuroscientists from about 12 universities. I went all out in fighting this disease. I've had kids die in my arms. I brought some of them back to life with CPR. I go to a ton of funerals. It's so sad to watch and to be part of. But on the good side, there are people that get well. For those, they say the teacher will appear when the student's ready.
Mm.
Okay, if you ain't ready, keep doing what you're doing. You're going to keep getting what you got.
Yeah, and that's scary. I want to mention if you want some information about JC Recovery, that's where John joined in with. How long have you been with them now?
Oh, about 7 months.
7 months.
8 months.
It seems even longer, and they've been around for a little while.
They've been around for 11 years.
Yeah, 11 years. And there's a lot of new things that are exciting things going on at JC.
We got new housing.
Yeah.
Beautiful homes that have new kitchens, new bathrooms, new floors, new furniture, new beds, new everything.
And the staff.
Let's
talk about the staff, John. These are some of the finest people I've worked with.
Yeah, the staff is incredible. They really care.
Yeah.
A lot of them are in recovery. We have a clinical director, Megan, who's unbelievable. We have Jason, who's our psych nurse, and Jules, who's our other nurse, and our counselors, and my partners, Stevie B and Brandon and John Cheros. They're all dedicated to helping God's kids.
And when you say faith-based, faith is simply believing in something outside of yourself. If that makes you comfortable, start with that.
Yeah, well,
don't get into the whole I've got to believe in the Bible or this or that. Just try giving yourself over to something
how about
different.
this, Scott? How about GOD, good orderly direction?
There you go.
How about trying
Perfect.
that for a while? Okay, that was my God and my understanding for the first couple of years of recovery.
Yeah.
And
That's not something you have to have when you come in. You have to have a certain faith background or something. No, you don't. Just come in and check it out. Call them at 844-524-6873 or go to jcrecoverycenter.com. Once again, 844-524-6873 or go to jcrecoverycenter.com. Learn more about them, and more importantly, if you know somebody who's suffering, get some information about how maybe they can help your friend or your family member. Because, John, if somebody's hurting, it's not like the old days. It's not like you can wait anymore. We got drugs that are killing people first time use.
Ain't no trauma. A lot of people. I work with wounded warriors. I work with also a chaplain for the North Miami Police Department, and I work with officers that have been in shootings over the years. So if you have trauma and things, we work with trauma, and that's about it, I guess, huh?
If you looked in John's high school yearbook, you would not see most likely to be a decent guy and a chaplain. You would not see that in his high school yearbook.
No, you would see a drug addict, a drug dealer, and but also I have
most likely to do the most time of anybody in the class of whatever.
And I'm also a grandmaster in martial arts, 10th degree black belt karate, national karate champion, black belt hall, 2 black belt hall of fames, judo black belt, jiu-jitsu black belt. I do a lot of stuff.
John, we talked about a lot of things. We talked about food, exercise. I want to ask one more question before we sign off. Basic stressors, learning how to deal with everyday stress. How important is that?
Stress depletes dopamine and serotonin. Those are your feel-good drugs, number 1. Stress causes inflammation, number 2. Stress causes heart attacks. Stress causes a lot of things. So the way to get rid of stress, one of the ways is, believe it or not, simple, exercise. Okay? And remove yourself from a stressful situation.
Yeah.
Okay? And don't believe everything you think, because most of the stuff you think doesn't happen anyway. And do your best to stay where your feet are, not living in the past or living in the future.
We suffer more in our imagination than we do in our reality. So stop living in the imagination and take a look around and realize, you know what? Yeah, I got stuff going on, but I'm okay. Just like everybody. John, you got shit going on every day.
If it's not going on, you're dead.
That's right. That's right. So again, please check out johngiordano.com. Find out about his books. I love it. I'm going to work on my book, The Kid from the South Syracuse Who Never Grew Up.
Okay.
You got I never gave up. I said I never grew up.
Yeah, you looked a little short there.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. But thank you to everybody out there for watching. And we're always having great guests on. We're always talking to different people, looking at different things, everything from psychedelics to counseling in different therapies and modalities, to even just having fun. Sometimes that's what we talk about is the joy of recovery.
Yeah,
Because if you're not having fun doing it, you're not
No,
going to do
listen,
it, are you?
Fun is important. Laughter is a good healer. Okay, and if you want to know what someone's really like, watch who they hang out with. Simple.
There you go. Build your tribe, a good tribe of people. Once again, JC Recovery Center, 844-524-6873, jcrecoverycenter.com.
And don't forget my book, The Kid from the South Bronx Who Never Gave Up, and How to Beat Your Addictions and Live a Quality Life.
It's all right there on his website.
It's on Amazon. You can get it anywhere.
Yeah.
It's audio also.
That's true. You have the audio version now.
Yep, now we got the audio version.
Cool. And you should get it in the audio version because John actually sucked in helium and then read it. And it was so much fun.
There you go.
No, check it out. Please check out that stuff. And again, reach out to us. Don't forget to like this show, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. For John Giordano, I'm Scott Jones. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time right here on Beat Your Addiction.
Bye.